From prisons that resemble entire cities or deluxe hotels, to those that are more similar to animal cages or solitary cells. These are 9 of the strangest prisons in the world. Number 9. Bastøy Prison, Norway. Norway's trademark humanitarianism extends even to their conceptions of penitentiaries. One such penitentiary could be termed the penthouse of prisons, given the luxurious conditions their inmates live in. This prison is located on Bastøy Island, just 50 miles off the coast of Oslo, which is the capital of Norway. In this admittedly impressive prison, with exceptionally low rates of reoffenses, inmates live in comfortable homes that make the penitentiary resemble a hostel more than a cage for criminals. Every man has his own room and shares a kitchen and other facilities with other inmates. They get their own kitchen? What? They're even given a monthly allowance of $90, which they can use to buy food that they can prepare themselves in their own kitchen if their one meal per day doesn't satisfy their nutritional needs. There are a variety of jobs available too that can help them earn up to $8 per hour, growing food, repairing bicycles, looking after horses, and woodwork and maintenance jobs. That is more than the minimum wage in the small town that I am from. These inmates are spoiled, man. Inmates are also allowed to attend a wide variety of courses to fill up their education resumes and many training programs to increase their skills, which would help them become responsible, productive, self-sufficient citizens after they leave prison. Where do I sign up? Number 8. Prisión Penal de Ciudad Barrios, El Salvador. Penal de Ciudad Barrios is an exclusive prison, we might say. It is populated only by members of one of the most notorious gangs in the Western Hemisphere, the infamous Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13. Actually, populated might not be an adequate term. Overcrowded would be more accurate, since this prison was built for about 800 inmates, yet there are 2,600 of them within its bars and walls. Members of the MS-13 gang are feared to the point where they were left to run the penitentiary by themselves, from the inside at least, while the entire building is guarded by soldiers from the outside. Just imagine walking by a prison, or ending up in one, where even the guards are too scared to enter. Inside, the inmates run everything: bakeries, workshops making furniture and toys, a rudimentary hospital staffed by the prisoners themselves, and even rehab. The cells in the prison, which are closer to cages, are 15 square meters, with about 3 meters in height, and about 70 inmates are squished inside. These gangland members are covered in tattoos that represent mostly their kills, with many of them feeling very comfortable inside the squalid lockup. In 2013, a photographer, Adam Hilton, was given access to the prison and took photos of the MS-13 gang members in an attempt to figure out the curiosity that is a penal institution so terrifying that even trained professionals are too scared to enter. What he found were large groups of men who acted like extended family members and were in fact related in some cases, but were unrelentingly vicious towards perceived outsiders. Most of them grew up in extreme poverty, lived in slums, and had little to no educational background. Poverty creates conditions in which crime flourishes. What do you know? Hey, real quick, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos like these. Number 7. Aranjuez Prison, Spain. I wouldn't necessarily call this a family-friendly prison, but I would definitely say it's friendly to families. In this penitentiary, convicted criminals with children under the age of 3 are afforded to deluxe treatment, fully furnished, pretty comfortable 5-star cells with cribs, toys, and walls decorated with Disney characters. The children who grow up here are able to attend nursery schools, play with toys and pets, and even ride tricycles. In other words, they lead completely normal lives in prison. Parents are kept together as much as possible and strongly encouraged to attend parenting classes and life skill courses in order to fully be capable of readjusting to civilized society upon release. Sounds like an idyllic environment for a prison, right? Well, this picture-perfect prison family lifestyle ends when the child turns 3 and the parent's sentence hasn't yet concluded, in which case the child gets handed over to the state or relatives, and the parent or parents get back to their boring, old-school prison cells. A prison conceptualized like Aranjuez, might seem like an insane idea. But all the research points to the importance of keeping families intact during the first 3 years of a child's life. So if an infant should be imprisoned along with his or her convicted parent or parents, so be. Number 6, Cebu Prison, Philippines. It might be unfair to label this detention and rehabilitation center a prison. Located in Cebu Province, Philippines, Cebu Penal Center, a maximum security prison facility with a capacity for 1,600 inmates, has gained online popularity for its dance routines from 2010 to 2015. This choreographed approach to rehabilitation of convicted criminals was initiated by Byron Garcia, the brother of Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia. The elaborate exercise program that includes inmates' marches in unison started out with marches to the beat of a drum, but progressed to impressive choreographies to some of pop and rock's biggest hits by MC Hammer, Pink Floyd, Bonnie Tyler, Queen, and many others. Recordings of these dance routines found their way to YouTube, of course they did, where they gained significant traction and popularity. The Prisoner's choreography to Thriller by Michael Jackson has had over 50 million views, which helped these inmates gain online celebrity status and rendered them an online phenomenon. The show was being put on monthly and attracted crowds to witness this unorthodox approach to criminals' rehabilitation. Unfortunately, the happy-go-lucky surface of the colorful dance moves was never going to hide the rivalries and gang-like activities within the detention center itself. This interesting conceptualization of criminal detention might sound fun to you, but don't let the feet shuffling and clapping hands distract you from the harsh realities of a prison life. Number 5, Sark Prison, France. Sark Prison, located in the Chanel Islands, just off the coast of Normandy, France, is known for being the world's smallest prison, with just 2 inmates. Really? Only 2? Sark Island, on which it's located, has a population of around 500 people, and it doesn't really see many tourists, so it's no wonder that its prison would be proportionately small. Despite its size, Sark Prison has a long and colorful history. It was built in 1856, and it consists of 2 adjoined cells with a tiny barrel roof. The 2 cells approximate at 6 feet by 6 feet and 6 feet by 8 feet. Windows are absent, and there is a narrow 3-foot wide corridor running the length of the building. One of the first documented inmates of this mini prison was a young servant girl who was imprisoned for 3 days for stealing her mistress's pocket handkerchief. The girl was apparently so scared of spending alone time in a dark, empty room that the locals let her put a chair near the doorway to talk to local ladies who were knitting and keeping the girl company until she completed her sentence. The fact that the Sark prison is tiny is hardly a problem, since crimes on Sark are very rare these days. It's guarded by 2 unpaid policemen who are titled as Constable and Vintenier. The last recorded serious crime on Sark took place in 1990, when a man launched a full-on invasion on the island, claiming to be the Lord of Sark. This prison might be small, but it's earned its big reputation. Number 4, Fortezza Maricha, Italy. We all have strong cravings for pasta and other high-calorie Italian cuisine specialties sometimes. With that in mind, how would you feel about a delicious meal cooked by imprisoned criminals? If that's your cup of tea, this will be right up your alley. The Fortezza Maricha, so fun to say, is an occasional restaurant in Volterra, Italy, which is housed in the town's Renaissance-era fortress built in 1474. Now it's a high-security prison for offenders with sentences of 7 years or more. This penitentiary is populated by some of Italy's most hardened criminals, and yet, 8 nights a year, it hosts dinners where the restaurant's staff is populated by the prison's convicts. Apparently, this experimental prison is designed to help its inmates raise money for charity, develop a sense of responsibility and usefulness, create a sense of self-worth, create skills, and provide inmates with the opportunity to interact with people on the outside. In other words, it was conceived as a rehabilitation scheme back in 2006 by the prison's administration. This admittedly ambitious project has succeeded in attracting media attention Norwegian and international clientele. Every clientele is required to pass a background check, of course, and multiple checkpoints, of course, as well as give up their phones to be able to enjoy this unique experience. All cutlery is required to be plastic and tables have to be reserved at least a couple of weeks ahead. A meal costs about $50, most of which goes to charity. Precious. Prisoners are trained by professional chefs throughout the year. That's cool. With over 30 men going to real restaurants to pick up the cooking tricks. I can only imagine what a first date at this fancy prison restaurant would look and feel like. Number 3. Bangkok Prison, Thailand. This Bangkok Hilton, as it is often jokingly referred to, is one of the most notoriously dangerous, unjust, overcrowded, and underfunded prisons in the world. This maximum security facility was built in the 1930s with an intended capacity for only 3,500 inmates. Today, it houses over 8,000 of them. The infamy of the Bangkok prison and its horrific reputation is well-deserved. Most of its inmates are serving 25 years or more. Around 10% of them are on death row, and all the prisoners on death row are made to wear shackles. But shackles are not exclusively reserved for the death row guys. Every new prisoner is required to wear them for the first 3 months of their sentence. Prisoners get only one meal a day, which consists of soup and a bowl of rice. If they get hungry, they are forced to participate in a corrupt system where wealthier, more privileged inmates require services, often not very pleasant ones, to earn their way to their canteen. Guards also engage in inhumane and cruel behaviors, like beating up the mentally ill and the elderly. Not even the pregnant women are safe from that kind of treatment. Oh dear. And there is a severely damaged sewer system and poor hygiene, which leads to a lot of diseased inmates that cannot expect much medical help. The sentencing is often unjust and disproportionate to the committed crime. Word of advice: stay out of trouble in Thailand. Number 2. Justizcentrum Liam, Austria. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. And all persons deprived of their liberty shall be treated with humanity and with respect for inherent dignity of the human person, are the 2 pillars which this unique prison model in Austria is founded upon. Justizcentrum Liam is a court and prison complex in Leoben, Austria. This jailhouse was designed by the renowned architect Joseph Hansen, and it was completed in 2005. There are many things that differentiate this prison from other penitentiaries. First of all, it doesn't allow overcrowding. It's designed for a maximum of only 205 people, and it's currently all booked up. Secondly, it hardly looks like a typical prison. It has a beautiful design with long halls, clean and neat exterior, and floor-to-ceiling windows resembling more of a convention center than a prison. The inmates are able to see outside of the prison through huge windows, some of which even open up to balconies. Whoa, high-rise prison sentence with a view? It incorporates 3 courtyards and outdoor communal areas enclosed by bars. Inmates are allowed to move around through the cells that are equipped with some nice amenities, and every prisoner is free to enjoy his or her own kitchen and bathroom. Although this jail model has often been mocked throughout America, Europe has taken its concept and core principles very seriously. Good for you, Europe. Number 1. San Pedro Prison, Bolivia. Not much explanation is needed on why San Pedro Prison in La Paz, Bolivia is atop of our list of the strangest prisons in the world. Often described as a city within a prison, San Pedro not only resembles a town, it kind of is a town, or at least a village. It occupies an entire city block within La Paz and possesses everything a town would need: market stalls, churches, restaurants, small businesses, handicraft workshops, classrooms, a gym, and a billiard hall. Wait, is this really a prison? There are no officers and no bars inside the prison town. There are just nice policemen in green uniforms at the entrance. Inside the walls, inmates of this unusual prison, to say the least, pay for their cells by working inside the jail/village. Cells usually cost between $1,000 and $1,500 and are typically bought for the duration of the inmate's sentence. As always, money talks, inside or outside of a prison. The more deluxe cells provide great accommodation and are positioned on better locations, while the less economically viable, to paraphrase a movie, have to share cells. San Pedro Prison was originally constructed in 1895 and was able to house 250 inmates. Nowadays, it holds up to 2,000 people, most of whom were convicted of drug dealing charges. Thanks for watching. What do you think is the next step in prison evolution? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!